Tonight, the Mail on Sunday report Prince George will not be expected to serve in the military before becoming king, breaking centuries of tradition. It would be a significant departure for the royal family, as the monarch is Commander-in-Chief of Britain's armed forces. George's father, uncle, grandfather, great-grandmother and great-grandfather all served with the military, sticking to a centuries-old precedent. So have the royals dropped the ball on this one? Let's ask tonight's newsmaker, the aforementioned TV personality, former government minister and best-selling author Anne Widdecombe. Anne, do you accept this break with tradition?
No, I don't. I think it's a very, very big mistake, and I wonder just how far they've thought this through and if Prince William has discussed this thoroughly with the King. Because the idea of the royals being in the military isn't just because it's a centuries-old tradition and it's all pomp and ceremony. Not at all. They are the head of the military. They're the head of the armed services. If Britain goes to war, it is the King acting on the advice of the government who sends them to war. Now, if they're asking men to go out and fight and die, and they themselves have never so much as served in a peacetime military fashion, then inevitably they won't have the same degree of respect and loyalty. I mean, when you hear the troops cheering the King, they're not just cheering the crown and the flag, they're cheering one of their own. And about the only good thing you can say about this miserable, whining Prince Harry is about the Invictus Games. And why did he set that up? Because he'd been in the services. He'd actually been in action, not just in the services. He'd been in action. That is what the troops have a right to expect of the monarch. And if this is a serious decision, rather than just tittle-tattle coming out of the palace, if this is a serious decision, it is the wrong one.
Indeed so. I do agree with you. After all, our soldiers in the armed forces fight for king and country. Is there any sense, Anne, in which this reflects how the wider establishment are beginning to underestimate the importance of our armed forces?
Yes, well, I mean, they've been doing that for a long time, in as much as the armed services have been run down. The reserve has also been run down. You know, the equipment is not up to scratch always. You know, the defence budget's been cut and cut and cut. So I think that successive governments of both parties have undermined the armed services. And this would just be a further blow. When they're cheering the King, they're cheering one of their own. And I, strongly urge His Majesty to consider that and to have a serious conversation with his son.
And a quick one on London Mayor Sadiq Khan, who is to provide free meals for all primary school pupils in London from September. Of course, we don't want little ones going hungry. That's a tragedy. But is it the government's job to feed our children?
I know it is not the government's job to feed children. But the awful thing about this proposal is this is going to be every single primary school child, every single one, including the children of middle-class parents, wealthy parents, parents who can quite easily afford school meals. So there's going to be a huge waste of expenditure where it isn't needed. Now, I'm all for helping the children of the seriously poor and disadvantaged. I'm all for that. I don't have a problem with that. But that should be addressed through the benefit system. And the parents are ultimately responsible, and that is how it should be. I mean, the idea that you feed the children of Labour MPs who send their children to state schools on principle while tutoring them at home, the idea that you feed them, why? Why should we be feeding the children of those who can afford to?
Anne, I wish we had longer. I'll catch you in a week's time. Have a great week. My thanks to former government minister, best-selling author and TV personality Anne Widdecombe. The jewel in the crown of Mark Dolan tonight on a Sunday.